Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy. Thy will be done. In this session, I'd like to discuss the personalities people run into in the interviewing process. Most people don't think about this very much, and it's real important that they realize it. And I don't want to get too deep, but it's really important to understand at least the 4 basic personality traits that you're going to run into in the interviewing process. And the why we need to do that is as important as the what of we need to do it. There are basically 4 types of personalities, and this has been around since the ancient Greeks: the Analyticals, the drivers, the Amiables, and the Expressives. The analytical are people that you run into, you know them. They're like engineers, mathematicians, accountants, people that manage numbers, that think about things in numbers. The drivers are people that are usually very analytical, but they have a lot of push to them. Ex-military officers, leaders, CEOs, often CFOs, technical managers. These people, both of these people, see the world through logic, reason, number, facts, absolutes, black and white, positions, title, how fast they can progress, how things can go, and they want everything down. Amiables and expressives, the other 2, are just what it says. They deal as a group with emotions, gut feelings. They often think about who they work with rather than what they do and how they actually feel about things. The analyticals are trusting, patient, most of the time non-assertive, even-paced, fairly internal in their communications. The drivers are usually distrusting, impatient, energetic, active. External recognition means a lot of things to them. They're motivated, fast-paced, and usually impulsive. Amiables, they like relationships. They're easygoing. They like friends. They like to be liked. They have pretty traditional values. They're not usually risk takers, and they're very careful in the decisions that they make. Expressives, they're usually your actors and your salespeople, comedians, intangible, creative types of folks. Are usually very outgoing, engaging, and creative, and expressive in the ideas that they have. They see the world through emotions and gut. They and the Amiables see the emotions, like I mentioned, through feeling, whereas the analyticals and the drivers see things by facts. Now, why is that kind of thing important? Well, usually when you go through an interviewing process, if you're a candidate, you're going to interview with a number of different kinds of people. You're going to interview with the manager that's going to be doing the hiring. Then you're going to interview with other people that may be in different departments. And you're likely to run into these kinds of personalities, and you need to be aware of it. In fact, I recommend to candidates when they go beyond the initial interview that they call whoever they initially interviewed with and ask them about the personalities of the people that they're going to talk to. Here's why, for instance, and this just happened the other day. I had a very aggressive sales guy who is more amiable and expressive than he is anything else, go and interview with an analytical controller. And he was talking about flowery stuff, non-defined stuff. He was talking about how he felt about everything, and everything was feelings. And this controller wanted to know about the analytics. What'd you do here? What'd you do there? How did you measure it? What was the measure of this? How did you rank here? How did you stack up there? And the guy wasn't ready for it. Well, I don't really remember. What was my quote of 3 years ago? I'm not really sure. I don't really remember. But at any rate, I made it. And I was real lucky because I was real successful at it. And but I don't really remember what it was. The controller did not like that. The driver wants to know, how hard are you going to push? How hard are you going to let people know what they need to do and how they need to do it? And likely the driver is going to want to push you. If you're an amiable person and you go into interview with a driver, there's a personality mismatch. You need to be aware of what they, in fact, not too long ago, I had a fairly creative product manager type of person who was really amiable and basically expressive, go in and interview with the CRO of a company. CRO was a driver, pusher, strong, aggressive, didn't like what he saw at all because the person just wasn't aggressive enough for him and was way too easygoing and laid back and not definite enough for him. So the point is, be aware of the kind of personalities you're going to run into. Now, you can never expect probably an amiable type person or expressive type person to become a driver. I'm not saying that. I am saying that you need to be aware of the people you're going to interview with so you can adapt to their style and you can sell them on why you are a good candidate and why they ought to hire you. If you're in analytical, be aware that if you interview with a driver, they want to know about how you're going to push and how hard you're going to do it. So just be mindful of that. Think about it. The analytical, the driver, the amiable, and the expressive. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.